So, Nigeria is making a massive, calculated bet to reshape its entire economy by going cashless. We're talking about a huge undertaking with serious implications for security, finance, and, the daily life of over 200 million people. Today, we're going to dive in and write down exactly what this all means. It really makes you wonder, right? Is it even possible for a whole country to just get rid of physical money? That's the incredible, high-stakes experiment we're going to explore, and believe me, it's happening right now. But to really get why Nigeria is pushing so hard for this, we first need to understand the problems it's trying to solve. And let me tell you, they are significant. See, here's the thing. It all comes down to physical, untraceable cash being the lifeblood for all sorts of illegal stuff. Just think about it for a second. From funding insurgencies to enabling corruption and even highway extortion, cold, hard cash makes it all possible. This is the central problem, the big why behind this push for a digital economy. Now, this whole thing didn't just pop up overnight, not even close. Nigeria has actually been on this path for more than a decade. So let's take a look at the journey that brought us to this exact moment. The momentum here is just mind-blowing. To give you an idea of the scale we're talking about, back in July of 2023, in just that 1 month, electronic payments in Nigeria hit an absolutely staggering 384 trillion naira. This isn't just some policy idea on paper anymore. It's a reality that's been gaining speed for years. And that crazy growth didn't just happen. The journey really kicked off way back in 2012 with a pilot program in Lagos. Fast forward to 2020, and e-payments were already a pretty big deal. But then in 2022, things got serious. The redesigned Naira and the launch of the digital e-Naira put the whole thing into overdrive, leading to those astronomical numbers we just saw. It proves the systems aren't just working, they're thriving. And that brings us to the next major chapter in this story, a brand new set of rules designed to push the country even further away from physical cash. All right, mark your calendars. Starting January 1st, 2026, the way people and businesses get their hands on cash in Nigeria is going to fundamentally change. So here's the breakdown of what these new rules actually mean. For regular folks, the weekly cash withdrawal limit is going to be 500,000 naira. For businesses, it's 5 million. Now, if you go over those limits, you're going to get hit with a fee. 3% for individuals, 5% for corporates. And to top it all off, daily ATM withdrawals are getting capped at 100,000 naira. So what's the big idea behind these specific rules? Well, the central bank has a pretty clear 4-point plan. First, they want to slash the insane costs of printing, storing, and securing physical money. Second, they're aiming to boost national security by making it way harder for sketchy funds to move around unseen. Third, it's a direct attack on money laundering. And finally, it's a big push to get everyone to switch over to digital payments. But here's a really crucial point. The people who design this policy, they don't see these new limits as some kind of magic wand. It's just one piece of a much bigger puzzle. The source material has this fantastic quote that just nails it, calling this move a warm-up towards the utopia of cashless society. The whole idea isn't that these limits will instantly fix all of Nigeria's deep-rooted problems. Nope, it's more of a preparatory step, to get everybody used to a whole new way of dealing with money. And this is where things get really interesting, right? You've got the long-term dream versus the short-term reality. The ultimate goal is absolutely to tackle huge crimes like cash-for-ransom payments and widespread corruption. But the practical, on-the-ground job of this 2026 policy, it's really more about changing habits, getting the entire population comfortable with digital finance to pave the way for that true cashless future. Okay, so if all of this is just the warm-up, what's the main event going to look like? What actually has to happen to make this vision of a cashless utopia a real success for everybody? Well, for this to actually work, it's not just about setting limits. There's a whole checklist of things that have to happen. First up, you've got to build out a solid digital infrastructure, because you just can't have a cashless society if rural areas get left behind. Then you need a massive public education campaign so people feel safe and confident using these new tools. It also demands way stronger cybersecurity and more reliable networks. And finally, you got to actively promote digital options like the e-Naira and give people real reasons to make the switch. And all of this work is leading to one big goal, something they're calling full migration. The target date for that is 2028, and it basically means the point where the vast majority of Nigerians not only have access to the cashless system, but they've mastered it. And this is the most important part, they trust it. That's the finish line they're aiming for. Which brings us to the big final question. Nigeria is betting the house on a future without cash, hoping it leads to a safer, more efficient country. But will it be the utopia they're imagining? Or will this massive shift just create a whole new set of problems? Well, the next few years are definitely going to give us the answer.